Hello, this is Carolyn Bupert with the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you're watching the Video Voters Guide, or you might be listening to it on podcast. We're here today to talk with candidates for the May 17th, 2022 primary election. All the candidates running for this position in the primary were invited by the League to participate. We asked the candidates for the same office the same questions. The number of questions asked is determined by the length of the candidate's answers. In this process, we're grateful for the support of the Carol and Velma Sailing Foundation, the League of Women Voters of Portland Education Fund, the Weiss Foundation, and our media partner, Metro East Community Media. With me is Cheri Helt, running for Labor Commissioner. Welcome, Mrs. Helt.
Thank you for having me today, Carolyn and Tony behind the camera. And I want to thank all the voters that are actually taking the time to listen to this and inform themselves. That's a very important step that a lot of people leave out. So thank you.
Yeah. Please tell us a little about yourself and why you're running for this office.
So a little bit about me. I'm a wife. I've been married to my husband for 30 years. He was my prom date. So that's a little fun fact. I'm also a mother of three. One of my children, my eldest son, is out in the workforce and he has chosen the military as a career, and he is serving in Poland currently on a NATO base. I am a small business owner, and my husband and I have owned restaurants for the last 18 years. And employed as many people as 104 people before the pandemic. And I'm also a former legislator. And when I was in the legislature, I really enjoyed working with everybody to accomplish things for all Oregonians.
How will you balance the needs of business with those of workers in administering the Bureau of Labor and Industries?
Thanks for that question, Carolyn. So it is so important that we balance those needs. And I think those needs naturally balance themselves. What is good for businesses is good for employees as well. And I'll give you an illustration. In our business, my husband and I have chosen to pay all of our co-workers healthcare insurance 100%. And we also do a 401k program that is matching 6%. And we do this because it is so important to make sure that everyone knows how much they are valued and how important their role is in our business. And so for the most part, that's always the case. But when it is not the case, it is important to make sure that we get the bad apples and that we enforce that they are following the law. And so the laws are there to make sure this happens, and I would be there to make sure that this is enforced.
Thank you. What more could be done, excuse me, what more could be done by the Bureau of Labor and Industries to eliminate discrimination in access to housing, public spaces, job opportunities, and so on in Portland?
So I think one of the biggest things that we're experiencing right now is a workforce housing shortage. In the past, I've worked with Commissioner Hoyle in my role as a state legislator to try and pass a law that really upped the enforcement and education around fair housing. I think that is really important. It was passed after I left. I would uphold that law, as well as really expanding out our voice around this. I don't know that we can have fair housing if we don't have enough housing for our workforce. And so from this office, I really want to champion the lack of workforce housing that we see across our state and how important it really is to make sure that our working families have homes that they can reside in and raise their families and do their work for our state. And so it's really, this is a big bucket for me that I would really look forward to championing. So thanks for the question, Carolyn.
You're listening to the Video Voters Guide and podcast, and we're talking to Cheri Helt, who is running for Labor Commissioner. What can the Bureau of Labor and Industries do to increase job training programs and provide well-qualified workers to industry?
So this is one of the reasons that gets me excited about the job. there is such a lack of connection between our career and technical education programs and our skilled labor workforce that is a high wage skilled paying job, right? And so as a school board member, which I was for many years, I served on my school board at Ben Lapine for 9 years. I served on the state school board, and I also served on the Oregon School Board Association board. And we championed Measure 98, which was getting career and technical education funded. But now what we need to do is take that funding and make sure that it is leading to the workforce that Oregon needs. And it is also getting all of our workers into skilled high wage jobs. And what we need to do is go to our career centers in our high schools and make sure that we are building a bridge from high school and those career and technical education programs to the high paid skilled job that they can access. And I'll give you an example of an electrician. When a student wants to be an electrician, they should get a path. They should understand how much it costs, who to call, where to go, and what the process is. They shouldn't just understand the process of going to college. We need to build that path and take the mystery out of it. And that's what I want to do with this office, is make sure that all of our trades have adequate work supply, and that people can access these jobs correctly and without any mystery. And I think we can really change the economy and make sure that Oregon is thriving and that our students are thriving, and that we're not focused on minimum wage jobs, but rather high paid skilled labor jobs. And we have a huge opportunity with Intel. They're creating a path right now with our high schools, and I want to champion that and move that statewide. We know that they have 10,000 jobs that are paying $135,000 a year. And we need to make sure we connect our students with those. And that's what I want to do when I'm in the Bureau of Labor and Industries.
We just have about, 15 seconds left, but what can the Bureau of, what if any changes to the Bureau of Labor and Industries would you consider making if elected, and why?
Well, first of all, we need to address all the issues that the Bureau has by making sure that our locations are correct on our website. We need to address the unassigned cases that have not even been assigned yet. And we need to do a full, thorough review of where our strengths and weaknesses are so that we can serve Oregonians well and to fidelity.
Thank you, Ms. Helt. This concludes the video voter's guide and podcast of Cheri Helt, who's running for Labor Commissioner. Election Day is May 17th. Thank you for taking the opportunity to be an informed voter, and I hope you'll share this resource with your friends and family. For more information on the primary election and this race, visit our websites, which are vote411.org and lwvpdx.org. Thank you.